Hello there, friends and family. It's Patricia Hayes here, and I am chiming in here today to get the week started off on a good note as we work through our career transitions and job changes and what do I do next types of issues. That's something that I've been approached with a couple of times recently, and so I thought I'd do a little post on it and get some engagement going on what it is that you can do in the time that you're making some transitions. So one of the things that's come up a lot is people having difficulty identifying what their strengths are, and in trying to translate and communicate that as you're trying to move into the next gig. And this is something that's really, really important, especially if you're making a high level transition. So if you're moving from one level where you've done pretty well and you're now really ready to move to a much higher level, financially, position wise, stature, whatever it may be. It's real important that you really dig down and focus on what those changes are, what those things are, because again, it's not going to be about the position. It's going to be about what the position allows you to do, right? So a couple of different things there. Number one, do not focus on titles. When you get to a certain level, it doesn't matter what the title is anymore. You really want to dig down deep into what the position does. Because titles don't mean crap anymore, quite frankly. I mean, yeah, there's sometimes it does, and it's great. But you can have someone that's labeled a, quote, director that basically has more authority than the average director somewhere else. So you really want to focus in on what the descriptors are for the position. What's the authority? What's the responsibilities and the duties that are in the position? And why am I talking about that? Because when you get into looking at what the duties and responsibilities are for the position, then you can craft and recraft your resume and your letter to focus on those things so that you align and it makes yourself definitely like, my goodness, why haven't we brought this person in yet? Okay, so it's really, really important. Don't focus on the position title, focus on what the position does. Now, what this means for you is there's going to be a little more work involved, because you can't just look at something and make a judgment call based on what the title is. You're going to have to start scanning things to look at what they do. Once you've done that, you'll get a handle on it. Another thing is not to rely on what's posted, because you're just using what's posted out there as a reference point to how things are being worded, what people are in general are looking for. But again, what you're going to do is you're going to utilize those things as a measurement in order to recraft and situate yourself so that you can be more attractive to the secret job market. Remember, because most of the jobs that are posted, a lot of times once they're posted, they've either already been identified or they're fishing. They really don't know what they want. Every once in a while, particularly in like some government positions or something like that, they really are looking for someone, and so you really don't know. But you should presume that a position that's posted and out there may already have someone. Don't get your feelings hurt or get worked up if you don't hear back from them on it. I've had that happen a few times, and I admit my little ego was bruised a few times. But then I have to realize, you know what, it probably wasn't meant for me. But what was meant for me is to go through the exercise of preparing my resume, preparing my mind for that work, because what happened is the next time something came up, I was already ready. I wasn't having to start it from scratch. That's the next lesson, is that the exercise and the thought process that you go through in preparing yourself for a particular position or for consideration for something it's extremely, extremely important. Because here's the thing, most of the time people don't take the time to craft, to recraft their resume, their letters, to make them specific or specialized to the position. Most of the time people, they clean it up, they add a few things that they haven't had on there, and then they submit the same resume to everything. That is a huge, huge mistake. When you're ready to up level to the next big deal, you're not just going to submit. I have resumes that I have multiple versions of my resume, whether it's something that's focused on legislative work, whether it's focused on policy work, if it's focused on my volunteer work, whether it's focused on legal work. Is that a lot of work? Yes, it is. However, I can pull those and I can adjust them more quickly because I have those different versions than if I had to start from scratch every time trying to make it different or to make it fit. Okay, so it's absolutely worth the time. The reflection that you sit down, because especially if you haven't really done this in a while, then the importance is also the exercise of sitting down to think about what it is you want. Not just what you want, but what you've done and how that fits into what you want. Because again, that's going in and needing to recraft some language to think differently about what it is you've done, so that you can make yourself the most attractive moving forward. Okay. And I'm just warning you, it is work, but you will be so much more appreciative of it. And that's something that, like I said, I've come across a few times more recently in helping some people to rethink where they're going, or to think about where they're going and how to position themselves in a more attractive way, and to package themselves in a more attractive way. And you have to sit down and do the thought time, because when you do that, you dig up so much more that you hadn't anticipated, that you hadn't thought about, but that's going to be extremely valuable to you. So that's what we're going to talk about this week. We're going to talk about focusing on you and your resume and your work, and how you need to craft that for this transition so that you can be ready for the next gig, the next deal, right on time. Okay, so here's going to be the deal. I'm going to need you to log in and to join the Celebrate You Empowerment Network, because when you do that, that will put you in and make you a member of my private Facebook group. And this week in that group is when I'm going to be offering up some goodies that's going to be helping some specific people work on their particular resume or situation or whatever. I don't know. I'm just going to do this kind of off the cuff and think of some things, but you're only going to get access to that inside the Facebook group. Okay, so go check it out, Celebrate You Empowerment Network, and you will get some treats this week, hopefully, and we'll be able to follow up on them. All right, take care, and I look forward to talking to you later. Bye.